revolution goes broke. Promises need payment. He promised everything, and now he's asking for spare change. Red Dawn in New York, in theaters now.
It took less than 24 hours for the New York City's new communist mayor, to expose himself as a complete fraud. Zoran Mamdani, the man who promised free health care, free housing, and free everything, just did something so hypocritical, so brazen, that even hardened political observers can't believe it. Within hours of claiming victory, the self-proclaimed revolutionary for the working class revealed his true nature. The same politician who says capitalism is evil and violence is just a construct is now doing exactly what every communist does when they get power. What you're about to see will make you understand why President Trump says communism hasn't worked for 1,000 years, so don't look away. And as we wrap up 2025, it's time to reflect. Uncertainty isn't temporary anymore. It's our new reality. And waiting for normal isn't a plan, it's a gamble. For over a decade, Noble Gold Investments has helped Americans protect their families by diversifying with gold and silver. Real wealth isn't digital, it's physical, lasting, and it's yours. No one knows what 2026 will bring, but in uncertain times, precious metals provide stability. This holiday season, when you're surrounded by family, remember, the best gift isn't under the tree, it's peace of mind. Noble Gold delivers that peace 1 ounce at a time. So before year's end, take one smart step towards a safer future. Visit nextnewsgold.com for your free wealth protection kit. That's nextnewsgold.com. Don't leave your future to chance, and call that number on the screen, 877-646-5347, to find out how you can get 10 1-ounce silver holiday coins with qualified accounts. Certainly would be beautiful stocking stuffers, and we thank Noble Gold for their support. So Zoran Mamdani, right out the gate, already begging for money. He's got the plugins on his website. Donate. Use that capitalist cash.
This will be a period, like the campaign we ran in the City Hall to come, defined by transparency. Because New Yorkers deserve a government they can trust. On January 1st, I will be your mayor. New Year's Day, and a new era for this city. Oh, and one more thing. Remember how I told you a few months ago to stop sending us money? You can start again. This transition requires staff, research, and an infrastructure that can meet this moment. And it will be made possible by the people who built and believe in this movement. So I hope you'll make a donation at transition2025.com. Now let's get to work.
Make a donation at transition2025.com. Support communism with your capitalist cash. Never forget what happened on 2001. In 2025, we forgot. Oh, and of course, how can you overlook this beautiful photograph? Mamdani with Alex Soros. Lynn Wood posting this 36 minutes ago. So proud to be a New Yorker. The American dream continues. That's what Alex Soros writes. Congratulations. I wonder how much money he is putting up for that campaign. 24 hours ago, Brett Baer points out that at one point, Zoran Mamdani says, turn the volume up. How do you respond to that? Talking with President Trump.
At one point, he says, turn the volume up.
So hear me, President Trump, when I say this. To get to any of us, you will have to get through all of us.
How do you respond to that? Does that affect anything you're going to do?
It's a very dangerous statement for him to make, actually. And, you talk about danger. I think it's a very dangerous statement for him to make. He has to be a little bit respectful of Washington, because if he's not, he doesn't have a chance of succeeding. And I want to make him succeed. I want to make the city succeed. I don't want to make him succeed. I want to make the city succeed, and we'll see what happens.
Did you see reaching out to him?
I would say he should reach out to us, really. I think he should reach out. Right. I'm here. We'll see what happens, but I would think that it would be more appropriate for him to reach out to us.
So at one point he says...
President Trump says his phone line is open, but he's not going to pick up the phone to call him. Melanie Phillips from the British Cradle of Democracy in Westminster, her reaction to the election of Zoran Mamdani.
That Britain, I'm standing inside the Houses of Parliament, the cradle of British democracy, in London. the city whose radical Muslim mayor many Americans have told me over the years is proof positive that Britain has now fallen to Islamization. Well, what's that saying about people in glass houses? Yesterday, New York elected as its mayor a radical Muslim, Zohran Mamdani, a man who works for the destruction of Israel, a man who refused to condemn the chants of globalize the Intifada, a call for the murder of Jews throughout the world, a man who is backed by the Muslim Brotherhood, whose agenda is to conquer the West for Islam, and whose strategy is to infiltrate the democratic institutions of America and the West in order to fulfill that agenda.
Wow, that's a lovely message from across the pond, isn't it? London has fallen. New York has fallen. I'm surprised she's even able to say that in the United Kingdom. Aren't they just bashing down people's doors just for Facebook posts? Well, who knows when that door will start knocking at her house. Muslims are ripping down flags in New York City. Wall Street Apes writes this 10 hours ago. New York, a conquered city. That's what happens. The enemies are at the gates, and they crash right through it. They take down your flag. And that's what's happening. Here we have Representative Carlos Jimenez. He points out he is the only member of Congress who was born in Cuba. His family was forced from their home after the communist takeover, and he recognizes extremists when he sees them. Here he is speaking in the Capitol today.
They call themselves. I'm the only Cuban-born member of Congress. That means I was born in Cuba. I was not born here in the United States. I didn't speak a word of English until I got here. I was 7 years old. And the reason I'm here is that my parents brought me here seeking freedom. Freedom from communism, freedom from a Marxist regime. And so I can tell you that I know a communist and a Marxist when I see one. They may call themselves socialists, they may call themselves a democratic socialist, but make no mistake, Mamdani in New York, he's a Marxist. And the thing that bothers me is he's very proud to say, well, I'm young, I'm this, I'm that, I'm Muslim. I understand you can be proud of that. But then, if you're so proud, don't call yourself a democratic socialist. You are a Marxist. Go ahead. Tell people exactly who you are. He couldn't, and he can't because he knew he wouldn't get elected. But I hope that the people of New York do not suffer the same consequences that my homeland of Cuba has suffered. Castro and the Castro regime destroyed my homeland. They can't even keep the lights on. They don't have food, they don't have medicine, they can't keep the lights on. It's a total disaster of an island, a beautiful island that actually had the second highest standard of living in the Western Hemisphere when the regime took over. And so one of the reasons I'm in Congress, the primary reason I'm in Congress, is that I want to make sure that my children and grandchildren never suffer the same fate that my parents did, having to leave their country and bring us to a new country with about $10 in their pocket.
Well, it looks like you have a noble cause there, sir. But New York has fallen. So many stories like this, people who fled communist regimes coming to America, wondering why anybody would vote for communism. Well, it turns out that when you stand on your soapbox in an election and you just say, free everything for everybody, those that are most desperate will turn out in hopes that they will get those free things. But I always ask myself, how will they pay for it? Who will pay for it? New York is already suffering from the mass migration, the illegal immigration of all the people coming from the border during the Biden administration and settling in New York. Remember all the hotels they had to convert, put cruise ships off the in the harbor so that they could house these people? Yeah, so they were already having financial difficulties. It's only going to get worse. End Wokeness writes, I feel like I'm living in an alternate reality. New York City Mayor Mamdani on why he will empty the prisons because violence is an artificial construct. He's going to empty the prisons.
What's happening, oftentimes we've even found as legislators, when we go into these courts, the term violent crime is even used when people are stealing packages. Violent crime is even used when people are accused of burglary and there happens to be a housing unit in that same dwelling. So violence is an artificial construction. And we have to be very clear that what is happening here with these district attorneys, that is violence. That is violence of the highest degree.
Yeah, that's one hell of a stump speech, buddy. Empty the prisons. Violence is a construct. Yeah, ask the victims how they feel about that. President Trump on Zoran Mamdani.
Love New York. You know, I'm so torn because I would like to see the new mayor do well because I love New York. I really love New York. When I left New York for Washington, New York was doing really well, but there were some bad signs. The bad sign was a guy named de Blasio. So the signs of de Blasio, that was the beginning, and it was bad. This one, we're going to, look, for 1,000 years, communism has not worked. Communism or the concept of communism has not worked. I tend to doubt it's going to work this time.
Did you see his victory speech?
It's literally never worked. Yeah, I thought it was a very angry speech. Certainly angry toward me, and I think he should be very nice to me. You know, I'm the one that sort of has to approve a lot of things coming to him, so he's off to a bad start. You know,
off to a bad start. Better be nice to President Trump. Cam Hageby, I ran into a flock of Mamdani campaigners telling people to vote for Zoran. They couldn't even tell me why they support him.
That. What do you think Zoran's best policy is?
I think affordable housing, smaller classrooms, free buses, lower rents, freezing the rents for rent-stabilized buildings.
That sounds great. How do you achieve that?
I think that he has really high hopes, and I think that he has a lot of energy.
He's going to achieve it through hope, or?
I think he's going to achieve it by really having a smart way of dealing with people and picking the proper people to work with him.
And what is that smart way of dealing with it?
I think that he has a good sense of people around him. I think he makes good choices, and I think he works well with other people.
Where does the money come from?
He will figure it out. Like, I think that
he hasn't yet.
I think nobody knows where they're going to do it first. I think they work it out as they go along. They don't have a plan. It's like
I agree. There's no plan.
It's a process.
I certainly agree. There's no plan. That's for sure. Question: what is Mamdani's best policy?
Childcare for all.
What's he going to do for childcare?
He's going to make it available for everyone.
How's he going to do that?
He has a plan in terms of taxing and saving money, and I think will help everyone.
What is the plan, though?
What is the plan?
Yeah, you're out here campaigning for him, right? What's the plan?
You mean how is he going to fund that? There will be childcare for.
But how do you achieve that?
Well, we've achieved it for pre-K for 3s, and you just expand it so that it's.
How do you expand it?
Well, you use the schools, you use existing facilities, and you use existing tax base and money that's being wasted on consultants to pay for it.
But I still don't understand, like, how that. Where does the money come from?
Well, he's explained that over and over. So there's going to be there's wasted money, and
where can I find where he's explained it?
Go to the website. Go to the website.
Why do I vote for Mamdani?
Go to the website. Just go to the website. I don't have answers. Just look at his website. JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon on the communist takeover.
Going to flee. But all that's important because JP Morgan Chase just built a $3 billion skyscraper in New York City. When you talk about whether big business is going to flee and people that work for big business is going to flee, or whether they're going to stay put, that is really the case, and that's the case in point right there. So I asked him about whether any of JP Morgan's 24,000 employees are going to actually up and leave New York City because of Zoran Mamdani being the mayor-elect, and here is part of what he said.
So, first of all, people have left New York City. You've seen hedge funds and certain banks and Ken Griffin, and I think it's a bad idea. I mean, you want to have a very competitive city, and I don't want to use labels. The important thing to me is policies that actually work. Do you make crime better? Do you make the schools better? Do you make the health system better? I want to lift up all citizens, too. I've seen a lot of mayors and governors say things like that, and they fail to do it because their policies may not be so bad, but the implementation stinks. So to me is get this stuff right. Learn. He's a young man. Will he get good at it? I see a lot of people in big jobs, including political jobs, they grow into it. They're learning, they're trusting people, they're figuring it out, they'll make mistakes, they adjust. I've seen a lot of people, they kind of swell into the job. They get worse. It all becomes about them or something like that. I'm hoping he's the good one. And
we'll wait and see about that, right? I mean, making all those promises, all those New Yorkers, all the free stuff. Oh, wait a minute. I have to implement policy. I have to find the money. Oh, I can't get this done. Yeah, a lot of angry New Yorkers coming soon. If you got value for this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. So this is socialism's dirty secret laid bare. Mamdani, he spent months promising to tear down capitalism and redistribute wealth. His first act as mayor-elect, create a slick donation website begging for capitalist cash. His website went live before he even thanked the voters. The man who wants empty prisons and banning private health insurance and globalize the intifada can't even fund his transition without your credit card. Even JP Morgan's Jamie Dimon is hoping that he'll be the good one. That's how low the bar is. Representative Carlos Jimenez, who fled communist Cuba, recognizes the pattern immediately. This is how it always starts. Revolutionaries promising equality while stuffing their own pockets. So here's the question for the comments section. Will New Yorkers wake up to this scam before it's too late? Yes or no? The answer determines whether America's biggest city becomes America's biggest cautionary tale. You can support truth by checking out our merch shop. You'll find a link below.